On the Small Talk podcast today, we got my man, Lawrence Wise. How you doing, Wise?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for inviting me.
Appreciate it. No problem. You always welcome. What's going on with you today?
Man, not much. Just living, taking it a day at a time, you know.
We by the water. Let's talk about that boat, man. How long you been a boat owner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, it goes back. My dad has always owned boats. So then when I started making money, I decided I wanted a boat. I started with a 27-foot Chaparral, a 2010 Chaparral Signature 270. It had one major cabin in it, but it had like a little extra bunk for my kids. You know, that did us good for a couple years. Then we decided to upgrade. So my current boat is a Monterey 360. It's a 37-foot Monterey. It has two specific bedrooms. It's got its own bathroom, got its own kitchen. Then you got the upstairs where you can just enjoy. I keep it docked at Lake Michigan. I mean,
what is it like being a boat owner?
It's fun till it ain't. So, like I said, I got that dock at McKinley. My dentist, his boat is directly behind mine. There's a couple people who are business owners that have docks at the end of my dock. Greg Marcus's brother, he used to be on our dock from Marcus Cinemas. Okay. I mean, so we a small, tight-knit group. Everybody knows each other on the dock. You know, they take care of your stuff when you're not there. We throw parties and things on the dock. However, there's always work to be done on a boat, man. They say boat stands for B-O-A-T, bust out another 1,000, and that's true what it is, because it's always something, man. I got 2 engines, so almost monthly I'm down in my engine well doing something. And okay. I choose to do a lot of my work on my own, you know. I mean, but again, you live once, and these are some of those experiences that I want my kids to grow up with, just like I grew up with it.
Are you more at peace on your boat in the water by yourself, or do you like to have, you know, the crowd around?
I'm a family dude these days, so anything with my kids. Okay. As long as my kids are around, I'm good. We always are throwing some sort of dock parties, you know, where we're going on each other's boats and stuff like that. But again, it's a different crowd, you know. There's other kids there, and you know, as long as I'm seeing my kids happy, that's at the end of the day what it's.
I feel you on that one. Do you fish at all off the boat?
I don't. So my buddy fishes. One of my best friends, Chris, he fishes, and we like to take my boat out. He'll go out, catch something. But what this fool likes to do is he don't be bringing nets and buckets, so the fish blood get on my flooring. Like, I spent $7,000 on flooring, and he got fish blood on it. So, wow.
Is it a thrill? Is it more of a thrill to be on the boat, in the water, or is it just docked? Like, you know, as far as like the being docked or out in the water, where do you get your thrill from?
It's a tough one because you got your times. I mean, Lake Michigan is you have to respect it. It's not like your average lake. This is Lake Michigan will kill you, especially if you don't have the right equipment. So depending on where you are, like for instance, if I'm down by the breakwater and I want to anchor and let the kids swim, cool, we relaxing. However, there's times where I don't take my boat out for a month. Like the whole month of June, I didn't take my boat out. Just relaxing on the boat, having somewhere else to go other than, you know, your house.
Okay. Hey, I probably should have asked you this before we started talking about the boat, but can you swim?
I can. That's awesome.
What's the furthest you ever took your boat out?
Chicago.
Okay. Now, what's that like?
It's a cruise. It's a cruise. I'll be honest, I'm still terrified to go across to Michigan. I know a lot of friends, they've gone to Michigan quite a few times. But there's some dead spots in Lake Michigan where there's no help. So you gotta have somebody with you. Okay. And it's terrifying. Okay. So going to Chicago is not that bad because you can ride the coastlines as long as you know the depths of where you're going. You know, if you stay out about, you know, 300 yards, you're fine. You just ride that coastline for a few hours and you're good. You know.
What speed are you traveling at?
I mean, in miles per hour, 35, 40.
Okay. What kind of music you listen to on a boat?
Now, I love my 80s music, man. I mean, anything from the 80s, I'm always listening to. Like B93, they used to do a lot of 80s music. The Yacht Club, when we're there, that does a lot of 80s music. I'm a big fan of rap music. That's always been my thing since, you know, knee high to now, you know. Two 4th of Julys ago, you know, I had a party on my boat. You know, it's late at night. We playing old school Afro Man, and we singing the words and shit. And then you hear people on other boats actually singing the words, and we like, wait a minute, what's going on
that's
here?
a vibe. That's a vibe right there.
We do boat tie-ups where we just go out, we'll dock, like when they had the Red Bull thing.
Okay.
We had like 10 boats tied up.
Oh, okay.
You know, and we just out there relaxing, hopping between boats, throwing shots of things to each other.
How many years did you work in corrections?
15 years, my friend.
15 years. What inspired you to become a correction officer?
My stepfather, he was a Milwaukee cop. My brother, rest in peace, he was also a Milwaukee cop. I wanted to do something close like that, but I didn't want to exactly go to MPD. So I looked into corrections, and I'm like, hey, I get to be inside all the time. You know, I just got done with college. I was heavy in the kickboxing, heavy in the weightlifting. So it was like, let's do this.
How did your expectations compare to the reality of the job, though?
You watch a lot of TV, you know, you get an idea of what something's going to be. Then you get in there and you're like, oh, shit get real in here. You know what I'm saying?
Can you walk me through your first day on the job? Like, what stood out to you?
We went on the job before we went to the academy at that time. So I remember my sergeant, Kenny Pavlik.
Sergeant Pavlik.
He had this little ponytail, and, you know, I remember that training. You know, Dean Freud, he was a trainer at that time. And, you know, it's crazy because, you know, you're watching all of these people train you, and then you're like, oh, that's actually what I want to do. So then you start watching them, and you kind of attach to them kind of like they mentors, but you just get little bits from each of them, so kind of make yourself you know. So I mean, my first day was kind of interesting. I started looking at people like, okay, I know I'm about to pass this academy, but who do we think is not going to pass? You know, I was in a little group. I don't know if you remember Marco Serrano and Barkowiak. So that was my little clique, man.
Okay, I remember Barkowiak.
Yeah, that was my little clique. It was us three.
It's funny. I got a Pavlik story. And my first day in orientation, they were, you know, talking about the K9s, and they was gonna bring the K9s in and do a demonstration. I don't understand what this is gonna be. He put some weed in an area where
no.
I was. He put it in a Mentos, like a little thing where it was real, you know, you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So when he brought the dog in, he was like, to show y'all what a narcotics search looked like, what the dog do when they find narcotics. The dog went to every spot, didn't show no interest. As soon as he got close to me, started going off.
Woo!
Pavlik giving him commands. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Now you got anything on you? Just why is this dog, you know, going off? Do you have drugs? What? And I'm like, look, I came to work here. I don't.
Right.
I'm trying to. I don't know right now. I'm like, dang. I get the job and they playing dope on me. I said, dang.
That's wild.
So he moved something, and the first thing in my mind is like, I don't even like Altoids. I know this ain't mine.
Right.
But then you open up, there was some weed in it, and that was the demonstration, and he laughed. You know, I was like, okay, cool, because that was a bad situation.
Don't put me on alert like
hey,
that.
That was my first introduction to the type of sense of humor that I was walking into.
Sure.
So that was like one of my things.
Yeah. And I mean, they did have fun. There were fun times, you know, but there were also low times too. You know, I mean, working in corrections, you remember like all that overtime, you know, getting hit everyday doubles, and then you get hit for your off days too. And sometimes it was rough, man.
I remember working 33 days in a row, 16s, 12s. You was lucky if you had an 8 in between.
Exactly. Yeah, that was like a day off.
That was a day off. Yeah.
That's when you do your doctor's appointments and shit.
Man. What did a typical day look like for you?
A typical day, you go to roll call, you kind of figure out what's going on for the day. During your early years as an officer, you were stuck in them dorms, and they like to put you in that old building. And being in that old building, like you said, is closer to what you would see, with the exception of the 60 to 1, in a movie. It was very old school. It was dark, damp. At the time, there was no AC in that building. I mean, man, 12, 16-hour day, and you kind of see where the day takes you, but you always got to be aware of what's going on around you. Like that old building, I didn't like, they had like day rooms behind you, and I'm one of them, and I even used to teach officers not to have people behind you. But sometimes you got 15, 20 people behind you watching TV, playing games and shit like that. So it was always a level of alertness that you had to have, and try and not get complacent,
And what were some of the challenging parts about your day?
The challenging part was navigating politics within the agency. It was always who likes who, and that determined a lot. That determined what positions you get, what extra training you would get, if you would get promoted. I mean, it ran deep.
How did you stay mentally and emotionally balanced in a high stressful environment?
I think at the time exercise was key. I did a lot of exercising. I was big into weightlifting, hitting that heavy bag. You go to your kickboxing classes and your coach work you to death. You got to find what's relaxing for you, and kind of make sure you don't lose you. And then later, as I became a trainer, those were the situations I wanted to try and get people to avoid.
So let's talk about when you got ranked. Do you remember when you got promoted to lieutenant?
I do. I don't remember the exact date, but I do remember getting called in the office by Mackenzie, called in Haven's office. At the time, I was a training coordinator. I was just an officer. But what I was doing behind the scenes, I created the training division. I created the badges that they now wear, because they used to have these old school shields. I created those. So he saw my worth. She saw my worth. And they decided to promote me. It was the best time of my life, man. I was like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I went back in my office. I told my partner at the time, Lieutenant Williams, who was the director.
Oh, we talking about, Big Will.
Yeah, he was the director at the time. That man taught me a lot, too, man.
I learned from him, too, man.
That man taught me a lot. Because I used to call him, old man and all this, and he'd be like, oh, you going to be old one day, and you going to feel...
I heard the same thing.
And let me tell you, I think about that shit all the time, because I'm like, everything he says was true. But yeah, man, those were some good times. Those were some very good times. And I wanted to do a sergeant position. Mm-hmm. I brought that back. There's a lot of things that are there now that have my thumbprint on it, and they can never take that away. And I love that fact.
What was the first thing you noticed change when you had the rank?
Responsibility. You had to think differently. And that's when I started to think about who you're hanging around with. Now, I wasn't totally there yet. I still had demons to fight, but I started to look at other individuals as mentors, like Harry McKenzie. It was a rewiring of your brain and thought process, and that takes some time. Because when you first get promoted, it's like you want to save the world. Just like when you first get the job, you want to save the world, but you have to learn there's steps in everything. Create that plan of how you're going to fix it. Put that plan on paper of how you're going to fix it. Get that buy-in of how you're going to fix it. Implement how you're going to fix that.
As a trainer, what does it feel like to see that one officer that's struggling? You don't know if that person's going to make it, and then it clicks to him.
Bro, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
Describe that.
Yeah, definitely. It's you watch them. You watch them go through the academy. You have conversations where you're like, oh, When are we going to have to let this person go?
And these are conversations happening in the background.
In the background,
yeah.
100%. So all the instructors get together. It's like, hey, we may need to make a cut. And then you say, let's let this play out for a little bit. Now, again, some people you'll have to cut from the academy. But if you can see that that's something in somebody, you let them try. Because once you let them try and they find out who they are, and I think that's a lot of that is finding who they are, because something's new to them. If they were not a boxer, they're not going to know what step and drag is. You know what I'm saying? But again, it makes me feel good because I know I had a hand in that. And this is something else Mackenzie taught me is train your replacement. There are some individuals that are in positions of power that will not train you because they fear their positions being taken over. So if you are a strong leader, you should be looking for people to lift up.
That's
better
leadership.
manage.
That's
Exactly.
leadership. Yeah,
Exactly. And it's just seeing it time and time again, seeing those people come up and become supervisors, become the new director of training and, things like that. It feels good, man. In the back of your mind, it's like you made a difference. You know what I'm saying? You did something to make a positive impact. And at the end of the day, that's what you rest on.
How do you feel knowing that corrections is a part of your legacy and you went and made rank? You've worked with people that's been there 20 years, never saw rank.
Yep.
Let's go through that for a second. Like, how do you feel with that being a part of your legacy?
Definitely. I think is very important. And knowing that I made that impact, my kids seeing me go through those ranks is important because now they can see, okay, their daddy was doing something successful. He was moving up the chain. And I think that's important is for your kids to see you grow and not stagnant. If you're stagnant, that's going to kill you. If you're stagnant, that's going to have a negative impact on your household. So what I never want is I had that never give up attitude, and that's what I want to instill in my kids. So I wanted them to show that I could make it. I could do. And, I think I did that.
That's fantastic, man. Hey, Wise, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Always,
you
brother.
You are welcome back anytime,
Definitely,
man. Appreciate
definitely.
you.